Well, welcome.
Insurance Bros.
Insurance Bros number 9.
Number 9.
Ooh, number 9.
Oh, look at that. Our new set is getting in my way. Let's do that again. Let's do that. There we go. Woo.
Insurance
All
Bros.
Right.
Nice
Insurance
job.
Bros. So, we have a guest.
We
boss.
do. I know. It's amazing.
I'm very honored to be a guest.
Yes.
Thank you
Yes.
for having
You are
me.
our second official guest.
Second.
But you are the first one in the new set. So we
With
got
the
new
new
fancy
set,
digs.
Yes.
So let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
If it all falls apart, it's Voss's fault. But
It is. I'm in the middle.
if it's
Fine.
but if it goes great, then you're welcome.
It's going to go great. It's going to go great, everybody.
I thought it was going to be my fault since I was the second official guest. You know, it could be a problem with that.
No,
Well-
not
No?
at all.
Okay.
Please
All right.
introduce yourself.
Well, hello everyone. My name is Elissa Jones with Intrinsic Wellness Co. I'm a nationally board certified health and wellness coach, and my goal is to help people feel better with different wellness goals, organizing their space. I teach breathwork and sound healing classes as well as artwork classes for kids. So I get around in a good way.
Wow,
Like
yeah.
to get out and,
Yeah.
and help
You really got
people.
that down
do
too.
get around.
We should introduce ourselves.
We should
Go for
probably.
it.
Yes.
Okay,
All right.
I'm
I'm
gonna
going to go first.
Okay, my name is Casey Kendall, and I own and operate Prosperity North Advisors. We do commercial insurance located here in the East Valley, specifically Gilbert, but we cover all of Arizona and beyond. And we highly excel in the assisted living world and a lot of specialty insurance.
Yeah, I saw you in our group the other day letting people know you do liability insurance.
Yeah.
Give me bites on that one.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
good.
It's-
Good. I'm glad you could help. I'm glad Casey's in our group helping people out.
Thank you.
My name is Voss Spiros. My wife and I own Red Mountain Funeral Home in Mesa, and I have Spiros Financial Insurance Agency for Medicare and funeral insurance is what we specialize in. I have a DBA, Arizona Medicare Insurance Solutions, to cover my Medicare side of the business. We're in the middle of, we're growing. So we're at
Good.
8 agents. I think I got about another 4 or 5 in the pipeline and people coming on. So it's a good
That's
time
awesome.
right now. Yeah.
Yeah, congratulations.
Oh,
Growth is important.
Growth is important,
Yeah,
yes.
it
So
is. It
I'm
is.
glad we're here doing the Insurance
Yeah.
Bros, letting people know about different kinds of insurance, and then,
Yep.
bringing the community in to learn about what they do.
About your business.
Yes.
So tell us a little bit, Elissa. Tell us a little bit about Intrinsic Wellness Company and what you're doing, how you're working in the senior space, and then how you work in general with your clients.
So working with seniors is really important, and there's a big demand for it right now. Everyone needs a lot of help at any stage in their life, and seniors need a lot of help when it comes to people checking in on them, the mental health side of things. Are you eating right? Are you getting exercise? So I'm specifically trained in cognitive decline, working with families who they have a loved one who's experiencing some type of cognitive decline, whether it's dementia or Alzheimer's. So having that support with the family members is really imperative too, because they need just as much support. If you've ever cared for a family member in any capacity, it takes a village. It really takes a team to be able to do that. So I enjoy working with seniors a lot.
Yeah.
I love listening to stories. I think that it's just fantastic to listen to the lives.
They do have a lot of stories.
They do. And
The
I
best.
like to learn from them, right?
Yeah.
Like it's all about growth and
What's the
learning.
best
and-
story you've heard? Or one that
that's a
stands
tough
out.
one.
That's appropriate for a podcast. What's the rating of the podcast?
We are PG-13.
Yeah.
PG-13?
I'd say borderline R.
Yeah, borderline.
They ask if it's adult orientated, and I check no.
No, I know.
Ooh, okay, I'll keep it PG-13.
Oh, you do check no on that
I
one.
do check no, yeah.
Ooh, the
Oh,
behind the scenes.
is it for children?
Well, that's another one.
Okay.
Yeah, there is, because my
You
son...
check no on that one, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I'm like,
We don't have any Blues Clues going
no,
on here.
no.
You have the wrong color shirts on if you're doing Blues
Yeah.
Clues.
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of stories about the Korean War, World War II.
Yeah.
A lot
War.
of really what goes into the hardship of war and coming back from that and surviving that. A lot of drinking, a lot of
Ooh.
stories of inebriation, which are very interesting because, when you're 90, it really doesn't matter what stories you tell anymore because
Right,
you're just
yeah.
living your best life. So let me think about an actual story,
Okay.
though.
Sure.
Come back to me on
Those
that
drinking
one.
stories, there's a lot of those.
Well, yeah. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
I probably have a lot of
The
drinking
hold my
stories.
beer stories, yes. I got a lot of
Yeah.
those.
So you gave us a good overview.
Yeah.
How are you specifically in a let's say a memory loss situation or a dementia care, maybe working with an assisted living home or in a companionship
Yeah.
situation? What are some of the tasks that you're doing?
Tasks.
Tasks.
Yes.
Tasks.
And what's the expectation?
Expectations are tricky. I've learned to not really have a lot of expectations because it can get in the way of the overall feeling or hope of what we're trying to accomplish working with the senior community. One thing that I learned a while ago specifically is how the sound vibrations help bring a lot of comfort, whether it's cognitive decline or with Parkinson's specifically. So, playing the healing bowls along with teaching breathwork in the classes that I do, this gentleman suffered from Parkinson's, and the moment I started playing the singing bowl, I could see him relax. And after a few minutes of doing that, because the class is more of an introduction to veterans to let them know what these different modalities are like because these are newer. And he had mentioned that was the first time I felt calm and centered
Wow,
in a long time.
that's great.
So I thought to myself, okay, this could be something because teaching people the healing frequencies. And so for a little bit of time, I was teaching down in Sun Lakes and I was focusing on the breathwork and the healing for people with Parkinson's. But that age range really benefits from any type of help, especially when it comes to the mental health, the involvement, the camaraderie, the sense of community. So breathing works, as we know, works well to keep us alive, but it really works well to help keep you calm in any type of situation. So no matter the age, no matter the illness, no matter what's going on, being able to regulate your nervous system and manage your stress with breath work is something that I really enjoy doing. It's a way to offer something that's free. You don't have to pay. It's just something you already have going on.
You're already breathing.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but are
Might
you
as well,
breathing
like,
correctly?
Breathing intentionally.
Intentionally, yep.
So, what's the correct way of breathing?
So if you are breathing shallow, you're only breathing kind of in this area. But when you're taking when you're taking a deep breath, you're expanding your belly and you're taking a deep breath through your whole entire torso. And when you do that, you're signaling to your body you're safe. You can get out of fight or flight. You can really be calm and be more in the rest and relaxation part of your nervous system, which is the parasympathetic nervous system. So that's why I say it doesn't really matter the age. It doesn't matter what you do. I teach my kids these same things when they're freaking out about life or being a teenager or not wanting to eat fruits or vegetables or whatever their biggest complaint of the day is. You know, we incorporate.
Breathe and chew.
Eat
that-
the broccoli.
Is that why people say take a deep breath when they're getting upset?
Absolutely, because there's hormones and there's all kinds of adrenaline and everything that floods your body and your brain when you're starting to feel upset, you're starting to feel anxious. And by taking an extended exhale, that's signaling to your body you're safe. We can calm everything down. We can not have so much cortisol running through our system and to just kind of chill out a little bit. So taking a deep breath is the quickest way to regulate your system.
How often would you recommend someone visit with you? So, take us through the process of how you initially engage with your clients
Yeah.
on an average basis, let's say. I know that you do a few different things and a few different activities depending on who the end user is, and I'd love to
Yeah.
learn more about those. But on
Definitely.
average, what does that process look like for you?
So in the senior community, it involves just an initial appointment working with the senior and hopefully the family member, because I like to be able to communicate how I'm going to be working with their family member and then the feedback that they would like to receive, because it takes a community, right? It takes a community to be a human, whether
Right.
It's a young family, an older family. So we do an intake where I meet everyone, and then we talk about, well, what are the needs that this individual might have? Is it making sure that they're getting enough movement? And movement might just be walking to the mailbox to get the mail every day. Or are they eating the proper things? Are they getting enough rest? So it's more involvement in what are the physical activities that are going on, as well as the mental activities, right? And that's where the storytelling comes into play. Reminiscing, listening to music. I can offer breath work, personalized sessions within that environment. And then I usually meet with people weekly, whether it's an hour or an hour and a half. I really like to meet people where they're at, and I like to coordinate their sessions based on what their needs are. So if someone's needing more companionship, they want to have a meal together, they want to talk. Mental health is really important because it's all connected.
Absolutely.
It's not just your brain and your body, it's your
Right.
spirit and your mental health and how you're emotionally feeling. So
Sure.
I like to be a part of the whole thing based on what they want. Some people are a little bit more independent, some people aren't.
Right.
So I like to be able to meet them where they're at.
Does an individual graduate out?
That's a good question. I used to think yes. I used to tell people, okay, coaching is a 3 to 6 month process, right? We're going to work together. And then I thought, no, I'm here to help people on their journey, however long that might be. But I do recommend we do check-ins, right? How are you feeling? Are you feeling like I'm meeting your needs? Are we reaching the goals that you were hoping for? So there's definitely a lot of temperature checks and check-ins, but I work with people as long as they'd like help, as long as they'd like me.
So it's just retraining their behaviors in a sense to be able to change a little bit.
You're exactly right. It's behavioral change, right?
Right.
Because it's all a process. It all takes time. If I ask you to do something new, you're like, maybe. But the more we do it together, the more we have structure, the more we have a plan. And with coaching, there's a lot of accountability. So if you schedule to meet with me because you want more movement in your life, well, you're probably going to move more because you know I'm going to be there. I'm going to be the one showing up and holding you accountable.
Right.
And I'm fun. I think it's really important to be able to laugh, to joke,
Sure.
to listen to music. And it doesn't always have to be so serious. Life is hard. Like, we know that. But it's really who you pick to have around you to help make the journey a lot more pleasant and fun.
Well, that's great.
Yeah,
Beyond-
I like it.
Beyond beyond the senior space, what are you currently working on? I think before we started, you had told us about a summer camp
Yes.
situation.
Yes.
Tell us what you have going on there.
Well, it all started with the fact that I have 3 kids and summer break has started, and I went,
Yeah.
oh goodness, what to do now? What do we do for the next 8 weeks?
Sure.
So I've partnered with an amazing artist. Her name is Erica Bride with Outside the Lines Artwork, and she is the professional. She's an amazing artist and painter, and I'm more the backup in the scenario. Bring the food, bring the snacks, make sure everybody's listening. But what we're doing is an art workshop for kids. And we're doing one age ranges 8 to 11 and then one 12 to 16. It's in Chandler and it's 3 hours, so parents get a break. We feed them a healthy lunch, healthy snacks,
Well, that's great.
and they get to hang out together. There's free art time. Erica's going to explain why we use art, the different mediums, how to paint. But it's giving kids something to do, having them get to know some other people outside of who they might not already know.
Right.
And the key is giving parents a break. They can stay with their kids. They can drop them off. My kids are going to be there. I have a 13-year-old. He's going to help with the
Nice.
younger age group.
That's great.
Yeah, so we're really trying to get involved in the community. Erica does therapeutic art. She helps people who might be getting over trauma, getting through sorrow, and really using art to paint through that. And I've watched what she does with kids. I've done a session with her personally, and it's amazing how childlike it feels because you could just be you, coloring, painting, talking about what's going on, and the different modalities to help really work through emotional
That's great.
anything. Yeah. So I've been working with her, and I'm really excited about that. And then I always have my breathwork classes, and those started out because I would be working with coaching clients individually, and they would say, "Oh, I'm just so stressed. I'm just so anxious. How do I get myself to feel more calm when I'm alone? And I thought, okay, well, hey, I'm going to do this in a class because I've never met anyone who's like, I am so calm all the time. I don't have any stress in my life. I've never met that person. So I thought if I could do this in a class setting, it's bringing a sense of community. It's finding other like-minded people like yourself.
Yeah.
So I got a few irons in the fire right now.
Yeah, sounds like it.
Yeah.
When, gosh, I feel like I had a really good follow-up question.
It sounded good in your head.
It sounded really good. I
So
just
prepared.
remembered it, actually.
Okay, good. Good job.
Does, in your experience or in your industry, are there any, is there a myth that you wish didn't exist or that you have to hurdle?
That is a good one.
To maybe it comes in as an objection, or someone can be standoffish for it. Anything like that?
Definitely. Part of coaching, part of the training we receive is to get out of your own head because you are your biggest obstacle. It's how I'm my own biggest obstacle. We're by ourselves in our brain all of the time, right? With our thoughts.
Yeah.
So I do get those objections, those obstacles. And I believe the biggest myth really is that internal belief that you can't do it, that there is a reason why you can't do it when you can. Because the one thing to remember that I always tell my people, and I tell my kids, your brain believes everything you say. There's no other way
Right
for it
or
to
wrong.
get information. Absolutely. So you think about how you want to nourish your body with what you eat, right? You want to run a marathon, you want to lift weights, you want to be healthy. You have to give yourself the right fuel to do that. And it's the same thing with your thoughts. So if you're putting trash in, you're going to get trash out. And if your brain only listens to your thoughts, what other input are you going to give it, right? You're going to give it positive thoughts. You're going to give it positive self-talk. So I think the biggest myth is really people thinking they can't do it. When they can, they just haven't found the right partner to do it, or they don't have the evidence yet to believe that they can do it. And working with a coach together, we find that evidence, we have that proof, and then you build on those things over time because you get empowered after a while. You're
Sure.
like, yep, I can do this. I 100% can do it. So it just takes time.
Yeah, I think especially if you're setting those small goals, winning those battles.
Yeah. Yep, little baby steps.
Yeah, especially in a mental health situation.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
how you can overcome that.
Yeah. Yep, for sure.
Talk to us about your overall general approach or method to your business. Is there a specific case study or ideal situation that you're looking for?
So the common denominator for me in my business is authenticity and meeting people where they're at without any judgment and without any critical nature. If you choose to have me in your life to help you achieve what you're going to do, I'm going to be your cheerleader. I'm going to be positive, and I'm going to help you through those goals, even if you don't reach them in exactly the time that maybe you want, but we don't ever give up, right? We keep doing these things together. So it's trying to figure out the best way to describe it, but it really is about working with people, being the most authentic way that you can do it, and meeting them where they're at. And you have to remind me of the second part of your question.
Well, I think it's. I think what it really comes down to is, is there an ideal situation? I can imagine.
Oh, yeah, like an ideal.
Yeah, I can imagine as well. Like you probably, even if somebody might reach out, that they may not even be ready. They think they're ready, but they may not be ready.
Yes, you described something that happens to me on a regular basis, because us talking is one thing, but then if you make an appointment with me, ooh, that's a level of investment. That's to the next level. And then if you pay me, if you invest in yourself by hiring me, that's another level. So an ideal client for me is anyone who is ready and willing to invest time and money in themselves. Doesn't matter the age. I love working with kids because we can get in kind of in the ground level, teaching them the importance of nutrition and diet and exercise. But I enjoy working with people of all ages. But I do ask a lot of questions about how ready are you to do the work? How ready are you to wake up early to exercise? How ready are you to think about what you're going to eat before you eat it? Because a lot of times we get
Lifestyle
hungry
choices.
and we eat, yes, lifestyle choices, behavioral choices, kind of what you had mentioned earlier, right? Because everything takes time and it takes practice because we have neural pathways in our brain that's why we do what we do. We know it's safe for us. We know it's secure. So we do the things that are the easy things to do. But change doesn't come in your comfort zone. Change comes from when you're uncomfortable, you're adapting and you're trying new things. This is where the cheerleader part comes
working out.
It
Working
is.
out, building muscle, you got to confuse it and
Yeah,
get it out of its comfort zone.
you do.
Yeah.
You do. Like life.
Yeah.
Like life. And I know what you guys also do with the insurance aspect of you have to talk about the uncomfortable things. You have to talk about end of life things. You have to talk about what happens when you're not covered with insurance. You helped me with my business with insurance with really understanding that. So it requires talking about the ideal situation of what you hope works out, but then talk about what happens when things kind of don't go your way. So they're important conversations to have all the way around how to protect yourself, how to think, for future things, and also be in the present moment to really tackle the things that you want to change. How to be the best version of you every day.
I imagine there's a lot of homework that goes on.
A little bit.
Do you get?
A little bit.
Do you ever get like a phone call where it's like, I don't know what where someone's like almost shell shocked, for lack of a better word.
Yep, I've had clients
Paralyzed by paralysis by analysis. Let's say.
analysis paralysis.
Yeah.
Yes, that is a real thing that's really uncomfortable and scary because you can see where you want to be, you can see where you want to go, but sometimes there's just too many options and you don't know what to do. Or even if there's one option, there's not always a bridge. It's not always something that's seen. And sometimes you have to take that first step to even find out where the path is. But oh yes, there's a lot of people who we have our first session, everything's going well, and then the next week on their own, they call and they say, I don't know what to do, and I can't do it. And I say, well, you've done something already because you've called, you've asked for help. Because that's the biggest thing. We can't do this alone. We have to ask for help. It is. Why is it so hard to ask for help?
Pride.
Ego?
I'd have to chalk that one up to us growing up on our own
Hyper independence.
and not getting a lot of help.
Well, I mean, it could also be toxic masculinity.
Toxic
We were talking
masculinity.
about that. Yeah, we were. So, boss, I agree with you. That's why I have a hard time asking for help, is because in my past, being let down, being vulnerable, that's another key part of this.
That's a big part.
If you ask for help, you're in need and you're vulnerable. So part of evolving, part of changing, part of figuring out how are you showing up as the best version of yourself is how can I help and how do I receive help? So I really think it's both of what you guys said. It's ego. It's very much not wanting to look or feel a certain way. Like you want to portray yourself as someone who always has all the answers. That's what I like to do. But then there's a level of vulnerability and hyper-independence that comes from, you just don't really ask for help well. So,
Like asking for directions. I know where I'm going.
I will find it.
We will get there.
We will eventually get there.
We will get there.
Yeah, we will eventually get there. And when people ask me what I do and they don't quite know what coaching is, or I don't have 10 minutes to explain what I do, I relate to people that I'm like Google Maps. You know where you want to go, but you don't know how to get there. And I help show you the way and show you the path of how to get there. And together we work towards that. And then people always get the analogy, because if you ask for help and you don't know where you're going and you use Google Maps, you'll be all right.
Well, that makes me think of something else.
Okay, tell me.
So I don't think it's so true anymore.
Okay.
But when you used to put in like a MapQuest, it might say it's going to take you 20 minutes to get there. And then I would say, nah, that's going to take me
8.
8.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I'm gonna race against this,
I'll beat the clock.
safely because I sell insurance. But
Right.
I'm going to.
Right.
It's not going to
Race.
take me
Wait,
20 minutes.
do we do this?
Yeah,
Wink, wink.
yeah, wink,
Yeah,
wink.
wink. Okay.
It's not going to take me 20 minutes to get there. It's going to take me 8 minutes to get there. And you're wrong. Google Maps or Apple Maps or whatever map
yes.
system you're using. What if somebody can there be adjustments made? What does that look like for the
Right.
please?
No, I was gonna say like they proposition you for a class, and then their eyes open, and then do they ever like just do one class or 2 classes and just realize that they can do it, and they just needed that little push over the edge? Does that ever happen?
Yeah, it does. I have all different kinds of people in different stages of readiness and that need a little bit of help. And then I envision it like not necessarily a train because it doesn't get off the track regularly, but you imagine someone who's just gone off the track just a little bit and they need just a little bit of readjusting to get off the track and they're gone. And that's all they needed was just a month or 2 of coaching. And then I have other people where we've created this relationship where it takes 3 to 6 to 9 months because what we do is we work on different behavioral changes together. They go out into the world, they practice and try them, and then they might need some help readjusting. They might come back. So sometimes it's more of a hand-holding thing because I look at coaching as more of a guide on the side.
Right.
Like I'm here to support as things are going on because people do try and then they go, okay, well, I don't necessarily want to do this anymore. And my answer is always okay.
Do they come back?
They do.
Most of the time.
They do. Because if you come to me and say, I would like you to make this change, you tell me that, and I go, no, thank you, I'm not interested in that. But you as my potential family member or friend, you can see from the outside in saying,
Right.
I can tell by your behavior, your thought process, your mental health is changing. I think you need help. The person has to be ready. And that's why I named my company Intrinsic Wellness Co. because change has to come intrinsically from inside. It lasts longer, right? I think at one point in time you were asking, how does this behavioral change last? Is it something that lasts forever? Because we've all tried to do things. We've all had goals.
Yeah.
But when you believe in yourself and it comes from a place where you really want to make those changes versus a family member making an unsolicited suggestion, because we all have that, it's different.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy October through New Year's, right?
Yeah. Happy Q4.
Right. Yeah.
Thinking in insurance terms.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So people come to me and they might be ready, they might change their mind, and I honestly just go with the flow. And what I have noticed is I'll usually get a text or an email 2 days before a first person's appointment where we're really going to dive into a new plan. And then they'll say, oh, something happened and I'm not available. And I say, okay, you've given me 24 hours notice, which I appreciate, but I have to ask you, are you canceling because you're scared or are you canceling because really you didn't manage your schedule well? And then they go, oh, I'm just scared.
Call their bluff.
Oh, absolutely, because that's what I do as a coach. I'm here to
Sniff BS.
100%. I have children. Are you kidding me? I
Yeah.
know how to do that very well.
Yeah.
So it's part of understanding human behavior and psychology. I feel like I have a psychology degree at the end of working with
I can
people.
imagine.
And I know you probably, both of you do as well based on the industries that you're in too, because you have to work with people in all different stages of either grief or sadness or pre-planning things.
Right.
That requires a lot of emotion going through.
And acceptance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a grief process, I would think sometimes.
Yeah, buying insurance is a grief process.
Lately, yeah.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Like, what?
It's crazy.
Man.
Like
Yep.
my rates go up that much. Oh my god.
Yes, they did.
I want to get out of this business.
And it's not just you.
It's everybody. I know my rates just went up. Like, oh, this is ridiculous.
I noticed that too.
Yeah.
But I really appreciate, Casey, you've always been someone who I can call, ask questions to, what's going on. We talk about life, we talk about parenting, And it's nice that we have that camaraderie and that community, right? Where
Yeah.
as fellow entrepreneurs to say, what are you doing? How did you handle this? How did you manage this? Because perseverance and adaptability are two traits that everybody needs to have.
Yeah.
Because if you don't, your life will be very, very difficult.
Well, I think it was Vince Lombardi who said most people give up like on the 1 yard line.
Oh,
You got to keep, and I'm sure you've seen that in your coaching situations.
the hard part about that, I love that quote, but where's the 1 yard line? It's so different for different people, right? Like I could be so close, growing my business, trying to help people, and I don't always know where the 1 yard line is. So I don't ever give up. I just don't. I think it's that wherewithal of being a single mom, going through divorce,
Sure.
starting my own business, showing up for people the way that I think I've always wanted people to show up for me. There's a lot of that vulnerability that goes into being a business owner, but that's why the 1 yard line quote, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
But I understand what you're saying, where it could be, it's obviously different for everybody.
Yeah.
So, who's to say, that kind of goes against everything. I don't want to break it down, but it's, you have to win the football game. You have to score multiple touchdowns. So that 1 yard line, you just scored that touchdown. Now you're going to play defense. And then you got to go back down the field again. So I think that it is applicable, but it's a journey.
It is a journey. And thank goodness it's a journey, because think of where you were. Think of the person you were 30 days ago. Think of the person you were 3 years ago. Think of the person you were 10 years ago. And as you're going back and thinking of these, I hope that you're seeing progress. I hope you're seeing forward trajectory of life experience. Not right, not wrong, not good or bad. You are just doing the best that you can, because it's not linear. Growth isn't linear.
Sure.
It's more of like an upward spiral. You go up and you go down and you go forward and you go back. But thank goodness, because you're learning and you're adapting, you're growing. You're becoming a better parent, a better partner, a better family member, a better business person too. So anytime I'm hard on myself and I think, oh, I'm not where I want to be, I think I'm not even the same that I was a month ago, because of all the work that goes into
You got to remember the
betterment.
past.
Yeah.
Look back a little bit, see where you came from.
Absolutely. Got to give yourself a pat on the back.
I think mindset comes into it a lot as well.
Yep.
Like,
You're right.
Mindset in the sense of I'm not burdened with this. I've got all this paperwork.
Yeah.
No, you get to do all of this paperwork.
Yeah.
And that is for my client who will now be successful. And this is my success as well. And so taking that place of abundance and gratitude, I think changes a lot.
I'm glad you brought up gratitude, because this is something I teach in my breathwork class. I know that you guys haven't been there yet, but you will be yet. Gratitude and anxiety cannot exist at the same time. So if you are in a moment where you're feeling anxious, you're feeling like things are out of control, remember how we talked about those neural pathways earlier? Things that are going on with basic lines of thinking or behaviors that have always been the way that they have been. If you go from a place of anxiety, oh, how am I going to do this? How am I going to make ends meet? Oh my gosh, this happened with my child, to gratitude. I'm so lucky I have a car to go to the store. I'm so lucky I have money to buy groceries at the store. I have my health. I have my well-being. So it's just a trick to use along with that extended exhale physically when you're feeling really stressed or overwhelmed. Go right on over and transition. I call it pivot to positivity. When you are thinking about what you're grateful for, and you'll realize all of your biology changes because you're telling your brain what you're grateful for.
That's
Yeah.
we could probably go on about that for
Very optimistic.
hours because I really enjoy the philosophy portion of that. I total side note, and I don't mean to steal a show, but when I was an employee working for somebody else, I never slept on Sunday nights thinking about
Yeah, what's
the week.
next day
Thinking,
gonna
you
be?
know, I'd wake up in a cold sweat and be like, oh my gosh.
All this
Yeah.
You
work
know,
to do.
just you're always worried about uh, competition or something else. I wake up now as a business owner and I'm refreshed, excited, and grateful that I get to do this and go through
Yes.
this wonderful life.
How about you? How do you feel when you wake up in the morning?
A little groggy, but
Do
I
you
get past that with
vibrantly pop out of bed?
just jump right out of bed, like, oh my gosh, another day. Woo woo.
Yeah. Well, what you
Yeah.
two are talking about is alignment. You're in alignment of doing what you want to do, what you're meant to do.
Yeah.
It's soul fulfilling. You are doing something that aligns with your goals, your values. You have self worth, you have self respect. You're doing something for the betterment of yourself and your family. So
Yeah.
I'm not shocked that you wake up feeling like you're really in alignment with what you're doing. And it physically shows, right? You're getting a good night's sleep before, you're not
Right.
waking up panicked. I hate that feeling. I call it red light panic moments when you wake up in
Yeah.
the middle of the night. It's like having a newborn again, right?
Sure.
Right.
Well, and it's one of those things that, again, had a great thought, but
No, it's
totally
okay.
not.
Definitely sleep good through the night.
Yeah, I mean, you just
You know, it's just relaxed a little bit.
well,
You still think about what's going on, but you know, you
Yeah.
wake up, go through your morning routine instead of waking up really early, getting some coffee, slamming everything down,
Yeah.
running into the office stressed out.
sure.
You know, get up a little early, get our stuff done, and then go into the office and know that it's going to be a good day. You're going to help
Yeah.
some people out, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
My-
what you're talking about is life is happening not to you. You are making life happen.
Yeah.
Because there's a way to respond to it in a panic mode, and then you just, you want to go with the flow more and be more proactive versus reactive.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Well,
Got it.
I mean,
did you get it?
I guess my
Okay.
only regret in that situation would be that I didn't do it sooner.
Right.
But
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 everything's a
you
learning
have
lesson.
to be thankful for the past, and not
for the
necessarily.
path.
I think
Well-
you can rely on experience and learn from those experiences. But I'm not looking back because I'm not going that way. I'm
No.
going forward.
Well, and would you have been ready to be as successful as you are in your business back then?
Probably not.
No.
That's why you have to trust the timing of things. And I've had to learn as a recovering control freak and people
It's
pleaser.
a slow process.
You just have to let go, and you have to realize the path is happening. You have to trust what's meant to happen for you. But I believe your success is happening to you now because you're ready to manage it. And it's like drinking from a fire hose, Do you want to drink from a straw or a fire hose, right?
Sure.
You have
Right.
to be ready and prepared for it, which it sounds like both of you are, managing the levels of success, because that's part of owning your own business is you have an idea of where you want to go. And when that growth happens, you have to be set up to be able to manage it.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
be ready.
Be ready.
Always be ready.
Alyssa, leave us with some words of wisdom, parting words for the insurance bros
Oh,
world.
for
Yeah,
you
what's
two
good?
fine gentlemen. Well, something that I've been doing lately, it's a mantra that I've been telling myself that's helped me tremendously. I tell myself it's not good, it's not bad, it's not right, it's not wrong, it just wasn't for me. Or it was for me. Because you're going to encounter a lot of different people. We joke about the amount of humanity we encounter doing what we do for a living. If you're able to separate yourself and you're able to look through the lens of compassion, you're able to help people without judgment, without critical nature, without expectation, you have a peace of mind with your success. So when I get really agitated with certain members in my life or people that drive me crazy, I just think to myself, they're not right, they're not wrong, they're not good or they're not bad. They're just, this isn't for me or this person isn't for me. And you have a lot more peace. It helps make you feel, it makes you wake up better in the morning, essentially.
Well, that's good. That's
Yeah.
a good piece of advice.
Yeah, that's really really deep. Thank you.
Yeah,
Remember
you're
that.
welcome.
What is the best way for someone to get a hold of you?
So I have my website, intrinsicwellnessco.com. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook, all the social media things. That's really the best way to do it. You can fill out a contact form on my website.
Awesome.
I have all my events on there as well if you want to do any of the breathwork classes, any of the classes for kids. And Erica and I, we are going to do some intuitive art classes for adults that incorporate more of champagne and wine and charcuterie,
Painting and sipping.
painting
Yeah.
and sipping, and then have the therapeutic artwork and then do some sound healing too.
Very
So
cool.
Lots of
Nice.
good stuff
Where
going
do you do your
on.
sound healing at?
So I do it at Health Plus Healing Studios. It's in Mesa, and it is off of Dobson and Baseline.
Cool.
It's a great space to be able to go and do my classes and do some painting. But I wanted to thank you too. Thank you for having me on, and it's
Yeah,
always
thanks for
a
coming
pleasure
on.
to chat.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Voss. Do you have anything going on this week?
This week, no, nothing going on. Just another amazing week.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Just
Short week.
It's a short week.
yeah.
Yeah.
taking-
We'll take it.
Friday off as
There
well.
you go.
Going camping with my daughter. but
Nice.
yeah.
Very cool. Very
Yeah.
cool.
That's important
You.
being out in nature.
Yeah.
I don't have much going on. Next week's a little bit of a different story, so we can talk about that then.
Yeah.
But powering through.
Yep.
That's what we have to do. And remembering we get to,
We
right?
get to.
We get to.
Right,
We get
we
to.
get to do all of these things because ask yourself, what else would you rather be doing?
Not working for someone else.
Nope.
Fishing. I don't know.
Fishing, camping.
Well, then there's that.
And there's that. Yes.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Really
Thank you.
appreciate
Yeah.
you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Fun.
Thank you for joining us for another episode of the Insurance Bros Voss.
Insurance Bros.
Boom.
Boom.
Thanks, guys.